Listen to me right now. Stop everything you're doing and hear me. I want you to think about your life. Really think about it. Not the highlights, not the moments you post online, not the little victories that feel good for a second. I'm talking about the truth, the raw, unfiltered reality of how much of your potential you've wasted. How many mornings did you wake up with dreams in your heart and let the day slip through your fingers? How many times did you convince yourself later, tomorrow, I'll get to it eventually, only to find that those moments were gone forever? I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. I'm here to make you uncomfortable, because discomfort is the only thing that will wake you up. I'm here to make you look in the mirror and face the truth. You are capable of more than you are giving, stronger than you are showing, and smarter than you are applying. Right now, someone is watching your dreams unfold. Someone is taking action while you hesitate. Opportunities are moving past you. People are leveling up. Doors are opening that will never reopen. And you are still sitting there waiting for motivation, waiting for the perfect time that doesn't exist. Every second you spend distracted. Every moment you allow excuses to dominate your mind. Every choice you make to settle instead of fight. That is time stolen from your potential. And here's the most dangerous part. You don't even feel it yet. You think you have time. You think tomorrow will be easier. You think someone else will hand it to you. But life doesn't work that way. Life will not pause for your hesitation. Life does not reward those who wait. Life rewards those who act, those who push, those who fight. When every fiber of their body says stop. Right now, I want you to feel that fire inside you. The one you've been ignoring, the one that whispers that you were made for more. That fire is your potential. And every day you ignore it, it's getting dimmer. You were not put on this earth to be average, to follow, to watch. You were put here to dominate, to rise, to break the mold, to become a force so powerful that no one can ignore it. And it starts with a decision, a refusal to settle, a commitment to act today. I'm not asking for permission, and I'm not offering comfort. I'm issuing a challenge. Look at your life honestly. Strip away the excuses. Strip away the distractions. Strip away the lies you've been telling yourself, and decide right now. You will not waste another moment. You will not waste your talent, your intelligence, your energy, your fire. You will rise. You will fight. You will move relentlessly, and nothing, no fear, no failure, no criticism, no comfort will stop you. By the end of this video, I promise you one thing. You will either be ready to step into the greatness you've been avoiding, or you will go back to the life that has been holding you hostage all along. The choice is yours. But make no mistake, your potential is screaming for release. It is time to listen. It is time to act. It is time to stop wasting your life. Your moment starts now. Most people walk through life blind to their own value, blind to the power they carry within them. They wake up every day, look in the mirror, and fail to see the greatness that is staring right back at them. They compare themselves to others, measure their worth by someone else's standards, and convince themselves that they are not enough. But here's the truth. You were created with a unique combination of skills, experiences, and talents that the world needs. No one can replicate what you bring to the table. No one can do what you were meant to do in exactly the way you can. And yet, so many people spend their lives doubting themselves, shrinking, and wasting this priceless gift of potential. Recognizing your own worth is not just an ego boost. It is the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. If you do not know your value, if you do not believe in the power you carry, then no amount of opportunity, no amount of external motivation will ever push you past the barriers holding you back. The world will give you what it sees in you. If you project doubt, fear, and insecurity, that is what you will receive. If you understand your value, if you know that you are capable of extraordinary things, doors will start to open, but not because the universe owes you anything. It will open because you are demanding it, because you are no longer willing to settle for mediocrity. Recognizing your worth begins with honesty. Look at yourself and accept the truth. You are not ordinary. You were not put on this earth to just drift through life. You were born with the ability to create, to inspire, to achieve greatness beyond the L. Image most people accept. But honesty also means acknowledging that you have been squandering time, energy, and effort on things that do not serve your purpose. Every day you ignore your abilities. Every time you settle for less, you are committing a subtle betrayal against yourself. You are stealing your own opportunity to live the life you were meant to lead. And the pain of that lost potential accumulates silently until one day you wake up and realize decades have passed and you are still standing in the same place, still wondering what if. This is why recognizing your worth is urgent. It is not a casual reflection. It is a declaration. It is telling yourself, I will no longer settle. I will no longer doubt. I will no longer allow fear or laziness to dictate the story of my life. It is the internal shift that changes everything, because once you see your value clearly, your actions begin to align. Once you realize that you are not here to just exist, you begin to demand more from yourself. You begin to stretch beyond what feels comfortable, beyond what feels safe, beyond what feels familiar. You begin to understand that your talent, your intelligence, your creativity, your work ethic, everything you possess is a tool, and it is meant to be used, not hidden. Recognizing your worth is also about breaking free from comparison. Too many people measure themselves against someone else's life, someone else's achievements, someone else's recognition, and they feel small as a result. But your journey is yours alone, and it is foolish to quantify it against another person's path. The moment you understand this, you stop looking sideways and start looking forward. You stop apologizing for your ambition, for your dreams, for the fire inside of you that refuses to be dimmed. You begin to see that your worth is not dependent on external validation. It is inherent, unstoppable, undeniable. And with this recognition comes responsibility. You cannot know your value and then choose to waste it. That would be the cruelest form of betrayal, not just to yourself, but to everyone who could be impacted by your greatness. Every idea you do not act on, every gift you ignore, every opportunity you let pass because you underestimate yourself is a moment the world loses something extraordinary. When you recognize your worth, you also recognize your potential. These are inseparable. Your potential is limitless, but it is useless if you do not first believe in your ability to reach it. Belief is the engine, and recognition of your worth is the fuel. Without it, you stall. With it, you accelerate beyond anything you ever thought possible. The people who achieve greatness are not necessarily the most talented. They are the ones who understood their worth and refused to be invisible in a world that constantly tries to make you feel small. They knew their power, embraced their gifts, and fought for their place in a way that could not be ignored. And this fight is internal before it ever becomes external. It starts with a thought, a decision, a realization. I am capable. I am valuable. I am meant for more. Once that seed is planted, it grows and it will demand action. Recognizing your worth does not mean arrogance. It means clarity. It means understanding that your life is your responsibility, that your potential is sacred, and that you owe it to yourself and to the world to step into it fully. Every moment you live without this recognition is a moment lost forever, a moment that will never come back, a moment that could have been the turning point of your life. And so you must see yourself clearly. You must look beyond the lies you tell yourself about why you are not enough. You must stop listening to the voices of doubt, the opinions of those who cannot see what you are capable of. You must recognize that the power to change, to create, to achieve, to dominate your field is already inside you. It has been there all along. You just have to awaken it. You just have to refuse to settle for less than your worth. You must embrace the fact that you were born with something exceptional, something that the world is waiting, and it is your job to bring it to life. Your life will not forgive you if you ignore this truth. Your potential will wither. Your dreams will fade. The question is simple. Will you see your value now, or will you continue to hide, waiting for some external approval that will never define you? Recognizing your worth is the first step to unleashing the full force of your life. And once you do, there will be no stopping you. Once you see it, nothing and no one can take it away. Once you know, you will fight for it relentlessly, because the truth is your worth is too big to be ignored and your potential is too powerful to be wasted. The world is waiting for you to step up, but the first step begins inside. Look at yourself, acknowledge it, own it, recognize your worth, and never let anyone or anything make you doubt it again. Complacency is one of the most dangerous enemies of human potential, and yet so many people welcome it like an old friend. They settle into routines. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. They excuse their lack of action because they feel comfortable where they are. But comfort is the silent killer of dreams. The world does not wait for anyone, and time is the one resource that once gone never returns. Every day that you allow yourself to stay in mediocrity, every day that you ignore the voice inside screaming for more, you are losing. You are losing opportunities, losing growth, losing the chance to be the person you were meant to become. Complacency is a choice. It is a decision to stop fighting for more, to stop challenging yourself, and to stop pushing beyond what feels safe. It begins subtly. It begins with small compromises, staying in a job that doesn't excite you, avoiding hard conversations, avoiding risks, believing that good enough is truly enough. But good enough is a trap. It is a slow poison that eats at your potential and your dreams until you wake up one day wondering where your life went and why you are not the person you always imagined you could be. The cost of complacency is measured in lost time, in lost opportunities, in the accumulation of regrets that grow heavier with each passing year. Every moment spent settling for less is a moment that could have been spent building, learning, creating, and achieving. Every excuse you make to avoid discomfort is another chain that keeps you from the freedom of reaching your full potential. People fail not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they grow comfortable with where they are. They settle into patterns that feel safe, patterns that don't challenge them, patterns that ultimately limit them. And the worst part is, complacency feels good at first. There is a false sense of security, a warm illusion of stability. You convince yourself that it's okay, that you can always do better later, that tomorrow will give you a chance to start. But tomorrow never comes in the way you imagine. Time moves relentlessly forward, and the longer you wait, the more difficult it becomes to break free from the chains of inaction. Complacency is the quiet thief that robs you of your future while you remain blind to it in the present. And the tragedy is that most people do not even recognize it until it is too late. They wake up years later looking at a life that is familiar but unremarkable, realizing that their potential was never tested, never challenged, never realized. The cost is not just personal. It is emotional, mental, and even spiritual. Complacency breeds doubt. It whispers lies into your mind. You are not capable. This is enough. Why bother? And each lie chips away at your confidence, your ambition, and your fire. The more you listen, the smaller you feel, the more you shrink to fit into a life that was never meant for you. Breaking free from complacency requires courage, and courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of fear. It is the willingness to step out of comfort, to take risks, to challenge yourself in ways that feel uncomfortable, unfamiliar, and even terrifying. It is saying no to mediocrity and yes to growth every single day. Complacency thrives on excuses, and every excuse you make strengthens it. I don't have enough time. I don't have the right connections. I'll start next week. These are not truths. They are lies you tell yourself to avoid the hard work that potential demands. And the price of believing these lies is enormous. It is the difference between a life fully lived and a life half experienced. The people who achieve greatness do not wait for perfect circumstances. They do not wait for the stars to align or for someone to hand them permission. They confront discomfort. They embrace struggle, and they understand that every moment of effort compounds into momentum. They understand that complacency is the enemy of progress, and that the only way to protect their future is to act decisively in the present. Complacency also dulls your instincts. When you stop pushing, you stop learning. When you stop growing, your vision shrinks. Your ability to innovate, to adapt, and to seize opportunities diminishes because your mind becomes lazy, your actions predictable, and your ambition muted. And life has a way of punishing those who become predictable. Opportunities pass, competition rises, and the world keeps moving forward while you remain stuck. You must realize that comfort is the enemy of achievement. The more you cling to what is safe, the more you risk losing what could have been extraordinary. Every time you choose the easy path over the challenging path, you are paying a price, one that cannot be refunded. There is a lesson in discomfort. Growth lies there. If you want to reach your potential, you must embrace it, seek it, and even chase it. Complacency will try to convince you that pain and struggle are to be avoided, but in reality, they are the very things that push you closer to the person you were born to be. Every moment of effort, every risk taken, every challenge confronted is a strike against the thief of mediocrity. And you must strike back relentlessly, because nothing in this world is given for free. The cost of doing nothing is enormous. It is the loss of dreams, the loss of potential, the loss of respect for yourself, and ultimately the loss of life. Lived fully. But the cost of action, of commitment, of refusing to settle is the path to greatness. You may fail, you may stumble, you may face rejection, but each setback is proof that you are moving, proof that you are alive, proof that you are fighting against the quiet killer of complacency. The difference between the life you are living and the life you were meant to live is action. Complacency will keep you small, silent, and invisible. Action will make you seen, heard, and remembered. The moment you realize the cost of staying comfortable, the moment you feel the weight of wasted potential, you must make a choice. Continue to settle or rise and fight for the life that is waiting for it. Do not let the years slip by while you remain stagnant. Do not let fear of failure or fear of discomfort dictate your story. The price of complacency is too high, and the reward for breaking free is too great to ignore. Understand this. Every moment of hesitation, every excuse, every decision to stay comfortable is a debt you pay with your future. But every moment you push, every decision you take to go beyond what is familiar, every risk you embrace is an investment in yourself, in your dreams, and in the legacy you will leave behind. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Complacency has no mercy. And it will take everything if you allow it. Fight it, confront it, break the chains of mediocrity, move boldly, act relentlessly, embrace discomfort, seek growth, and never forget the cost of staying where you are is far greater than the pain of striving for what you could be. Your potential is screaming for attention, but it will only respond to those willing to pay the price of action and refuse the comfort of complacency. The choice is yours, and the time is now. Fear is invisible, silent, and relentless. It creeps into your mind, whispers lies in your ear, and convinces you that you are smaller, weaker, and less capable than you truly are. It is the one thing standing between you and the full expression of your potential, and yet most people do not even recognize it until it is too late. Fear disguises itself in many forms: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of discomfort, fear of judgment, and even fear of success. All these fears are designed to paralyze you, to keep you in the comfort zone, to make you settle for mediocrity when greatness is within reach. Every time you allow fear to control your decisions, you are paying a price with your potential. It is stealing your dreams quietly, invisibly, until one day you wake up and realize that your life looks very different from what you imagined it could be. Fear is not an enemy you can ignore. It is an enemy you must confront relentlessly. Because the moment you try to avoid it, it grows stronger. It thrives in hesitation and inaction. It feeds on your doubts, your excuses, and your willingness to stay small. Most people think they are being incautious or prudent, when in reality, they are letting fear dictate the story of their lives. Fear will stop you from speaking up when your voice matters. It will stop you from taking risks that could change your life. It will stop you from pursuing the very goals that are meant to define your legacy. And the irony is, the only way to beat fear is to stare at it straight in the face, to take action while your heart is racing, while your palms are sweaty, while your mind screams, I can't. That is where transformation begins. Fear is a teacher, but only if you are willing to learn its lesson. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself you have been avoiding, the doubts and insecurities that have been buried under years of excuses and comfort. Every time you push through fear, you gain a new level of confidence, a new understanding of your strength, and a new respect for what you are capable of. Think about the people who have achieved extraordinary things in life. Do you think they were fearless? Absolutely not. They were terrified, just like you are. The difference is that they refused to let fear control them. They acted in spite of it. They recognized fear for what it truly is, a signal that you are about to grow, a signal that you are about to step into a level of life that is unfamiliar and uncomfortable. Growth always begins at the edge of fear. Comfort zones are safe, but they are also barren. Nothing evolves there. Nothing flourishes there. Fear will always try to keep you there because it is designed to protect you from risk, from change, from challenge. But what it fails to understand is that your potential exists beyond that edge. Every time you hesitate because of fear, you are choosing stagnation over growth. You are choosing to live a life smaller than what you were created to achieve. Fear also plays tricks on your mind. It convinces you that the obstacles are bigger than your abilities, that failure is permanent, that rejection is the end. But the truth is that fear is a liar. Failure is not permanent unless you accept it. Rejection is not final unless you let it define you. Fear only has power when you give it power. And the moment you decide to act despite it, the chains begin to break. The path to overcoming fear is not one of elimination, but of confrontation. You do not wait for fear to disappear. You step forward while it is present. You do not wait until the discomfort fades. You move through it. Each small act of courage compounds. Each decision to refuse fear strengthens your resolve. And each step forward is a declaration to yourself that you will no longer be held hostage by your own mind. Fear is also a thief of time. The more you allow it to control your actions, the more days, months, and years slip away without progress. Dreams that could have been realized, opportunities that could have been seized, and moments that could have changed everything are lost because fear convinces you to wait, to hesitate, to do UBT. The life you imagine is waiting on the other side of fear, but fear will never step aside unless you demand it. And make no mistake, fear will fight. It will try to convince you to quit, to hide, to compromise, to settle. It will throw obstacles in your path, some real, some imagined, all designed to make you retreat. But you were not created to retreat. You were not put on this earth to live in fear, to shrink, to play small. You were born to rise, to fight, to challenge the limits of what is possible. Every time you allow fear to dictate your life, you are robbing yourself of a future that only you can create. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of fear. It is the willingness to look at the very thing that scares you and say, I will not be stopped. I will not be denied. I will not shrink. It is the fuel that transforms fear from a thief into a teacher, from a barrier into a ladder. And the beauty of fear is that it is always proportional to the level of greatness you are capable of achieving. The bigger your potential, the greater your fear. The more extraordinary your destiny, the more intense the fear you will feel. This is not a reason to stop. It is proof that you are on the right path. Every time fear rises, it is a signal that you are moving closer to the life that you were created to live. And the only way to fully embrace that life is to act anyway. You must also understand that fear will not be eliminated overnight. It will follow you. T will test you repeatedly. And each time you choose courage, each time you choose action, you reinforce your power over it. You build mental toughness, resilience, and unshakable confidence. And once you have learned to act in spite of fear, your potential will expand in ways you never imagined. The moment you realize that fear is not the enemy, but the signal that you are on the brink of greatness, everything changes. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop waiting for safety, and you start moving with urgency. Fear loses its power when confronted with decisive action, and your life transforms from one of hesitation and limitation to one of progress and fulfillment. Remember, the only way fear can steal from you is if you allow it. Your potential is far greater than the doubts, insecurities, and anxieties that live inside your mind. The power to overcome fear has always been within you, waiting to be activated by courage, persistence, and relentless action. Refuse to let fear dictate your story. Step forward even when your legs are shaking. Speak out even when your voice trembles. Risk everything, even when failure seems imminent. Because on the other side of fear lies everything you've ever wanted, everything you were created for, and everything you are capable of achieving. Your potential is far too big to be stolen by a whisper of doubt. Face fear, embrace courage, and claim the life that is waiting for you. Desire is seductive. Desire is the whisper in your ear that tells you what feels good, what is easy, what is pleasurable. It is the momentary thrill of comfort, the instant gratification of giving in to what feels effortless. And most people let desire lead them. And this is why most people fail to reach their true potential. They chase feelings instead of results. They follow impulses instead of purpose. And they mistake the temporary spark of want for the fire of achievement. But here is the truth. Desire alone will never make you great. Desire will never get you out of bed when the world is asleep. Desire will never make you practice when your body aches. Desire will never force you to rise above distractions, excuses, and the voice inside that says just one more day of mediocrity. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Discipline is the engine that turns potential into reality. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it, even when your emotions tell you to quit, even when the world seems to mock your effort. Discipline is the quiet, relentless power that builds empires, while desire merely wishes for them. To understand discipline is to understand that every achievement in history was not won by waiting for motivation to strike, but by showing up consistently day after day when it would have been easier to give in. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not exciting. It does not always feel good. It is sacrifice. It is routine. It is doing the work when no one is watching, when no one believes in you, and when the world is indifferent to your struggle. Desire will tempt you with shortcuts, with excuses, with the illusion of ease. Discipline will push you to confront the hard truth. There is no substitute for consistent action, for repeated effort, for stubborn commitment to your craft and your goals. Every time you let desire lead, you delay your growth. Every time you chase fleeting feelings instead of structure, you reinforce mediocrity. Desire will get bored. Desire will fade. Desire will fail. But discipline endures. Discipline does not waver. Discipline does not negotiate. Discipline builds momentum that desire could never sustain. And this is why the most successful people in the world, the ones who achieve greatness against all odds, understand this secret. It is not about how much you want something. It is about how willing you are to work for it every day, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is the bridge between potential and results. You may have talent, you may have gifts, you may have brilliance, but without discipline, it will all go to waste. Talent without discipline is like a powerful engine with no fuel, a diamond hidden in the dirt, a seed buried in the ground that never grows. Discipline is what makes the difference between a life lived in dreams and a life lived in achievements. It is the force that turns planning into execution, ideas into action, and ambition into legacy. Discipline also means sacrifice. It means saying no to the easy path, no to temporary pleasures, no to instant gratification. It means choosing long-term gain over short-term comfort. Every decision you make is a test of discipline. Will you stay on track, or will you give in to what feels good in the moment? Will you invest in yourself when it is hard? Or will you coast in the illusion of safety? Will you rise before the world awakens to chase your goals? Or will you sleep while opportunities pass you by? Discipline requires consistency, not bursts of effort followed by collapse. Most people misunderstand hard work. They think it is about motivation, about the fire you feel in the moment, about the excitement that comes and goes. But true hard work is about showing up when you are tired, when you are discouraged, when nothing in you wants to continue. That is discipline. That is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Discipline is also mental. It is the ability to control your mind when your body wants to quit, when your environment is distracting, when your friends and peers are content with less. It is the inner command to say, I will do this because it is necessary, because it matters, because I refuse to settle for less than my potential. Discipline trains you to act above your feelings. It trains you to follow through on commitments to yourself, even when the temptation to take the easy way out is screaming louder than your reason to succeed. Desire is fleeting. Motivation is fleeting. Inspiration is fleeting. Discipline is permanent. It is the foundation of mastery, of achievement, of results that last. Every time you choose discipline over desire, you build trust in yourself. You build confidence. You build the unshakable belief that you are capable of more than anyone can imagine. You train your body and your mind to perform even under pressure, to act even under doubt, and to achieve even when circumstances seem impossible. Discipline is the antidote to wasted potential. Every time you act with discipline, you are closing the gap between who you are and who you were meant to be. Every act, no matter how small, compounds over time into momentum that cannot be stopped. And when you combine discipline with vision, with purpose, with relentless action, there is nothing in the world that can stand in your way. Discipline over desire is a lifestyle. It is not a temporary shift. It is a permanent standard for how you operate. It is deciding once and for all that you will not be governed by fleeting emotions, by convenience, or by comfort. You will operate with intention, with precision, with consistency, and with a commitment to excellence that cannot be swayed by circumstance. The people who achieve greatness understand this. They understand that the life they want, the legacy they desire, the impact they are capable of making requires sacrifice. It requires effort when effort is inconvenient. It requires showing up when showing up is uncomfortable. It requires discipline over desire, always, without exception. You cannot rely on desire to carry you. Desire will fade when the journey gets hard. Desire will fade when the challenges multiply. Desire will fade when others doubt you, when setbacks strike, when progress feels slow. Discipline will not. Discipline is the armor that protects you from giving up. Discipline is the engine that propels you forward when everything in you wants to quit. Discipline turns dreams into reality and potential into performance. Every morning you have a choice. You can follow desire, you can follow comfort, you can follow ease, or you can choose discipline. Choose discipline. Decide that you will do what must be done, even when it is hard. Decide that your goals are bigger than your feelings. Decide that your potential is worth more than temporary comfort. The world will not wait for you to feel motivated. Your life will not pause until you feel inspired. Action must come first, and discipline ensures that action is relentless, unstoppable, and focused. Embrace discipline over desire, and you embrace the only pathway to realizing the full measure of your potential. Stop chasing fleeting feelings. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. Do the work eve, ride day, consistently, ruthlessly. That is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. That is the difference between a life wasted and a life fully realized. Discipline over desire is the key that unlocks your potential. And the moment you embrace it, nothing can stop you from becoming the person you were always meant to be. Excuses are the greatest thieves of potential. They are the walls we build around ourselves, the lies we tell ourselves to justify why we are not doing what we know we should. Every time you make an excuse, you are giving up a piece of your future, a piece of your destiny, a piece of the life that you are capable of creating. Excuses are comfortable, they feel safe, and they allow you to stay small while convincing yourself that the world is against you. But here is the brutal truth. Excuses are your responsibility. Every excuse you make is a choice, and every choice shapes the trajectory of your life. You cannot grow, you cannot achieve, and you cannot reach your potential while hiding behind the safety net of I couldn't or I didn't have enough. Excuses are illusions. They give you the feeling of control while actually keeping you trapped. You tell yourself, I don't have time, but in reality, you are not managing your priorities. You say, I'm not ready, but the truth is you are afraid of discomfort. You say, it's impossible, but what you really mean is I'm too scared to try. Every excuse is a lie that weakens your resolve, diminishes your confidence, and sabotages your future. The people who succeed, the people who rise above mediocrity, the people who realize their potential are not the ones who have perfect circumstances. They are the ones who refuse to make excuses. They find a way even when the world says no, even when the odds are stacked against them, even when the challenges seem insurmountable. Excuses are the refuge of the weak, the crutch of the uncommitted, and the prison of the unfulfilled. You must recognize that every time you make an excuse, you are choosing limitation. You are choosing to settle. You are choosing to let fear, comfort, and doubt dictate the course of your life. If you are serious about your potential, if you are serious about the greatness that is waiting inside of you, you must stop lying to yourself. You must stop rationalizing why you cannot act. You must confront the truth that every single moment you spend justifying inaction is a moment wasted. Excuses are seductive because they make you feel like there is a reason for failure that is out of your control. They make you believe that the world is responsible for your circumstances rather than understanding that you are responsible for your choices. And this is where the shift happens. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, the moment you stop blaming, the moment you refuse to make excuses is the moment you reclaim your power. When you stop making excuses, you realize that you are the master of your destiny. You begin to see opportunities where before you only saw obstacles. You begin to act even when conditions are not perfect because you understand that waiting for perfection is just another form of excuse. Excuses kill potential because they are a form of self-deception. They make you comfortable with less. They make you numb to your own capabilities, and they lull you into a life of mediocrity. You convince yourself that you are doing the best you can, that you are trying hard enough, that you have limitations that cannot be overcome. But the truth is, the only thing standing in your way is the narrative you tell yourself. Every person who has achieved extraordinary things faced challenges, setbacks, and circumstances that could have easily become excuses. Yet, they chose action. They chose persistence. They chose to rise above the I can't and embrace the I will. Excuses are cowardice dressed up as reasoning. They are the mental chains that hold you back while you watch others move forward. And the more you make excuses, the heavier those chains become. Soon, you are trapped in a cycle of regret, resentment, and unfulfilled potential. Every excuse is a missed opportunity to prove to yourself what you are capable of. Every excuse is a moment where you could have been learning, growing, and moving closer to your goals. But instead, you chose comfort and stagnation. If you want to succeed, if you want to live a life of purpose, you must confront yourself daily. You must ask the hard questions. Am I making excuses? Am I blaming circumstances? Am I hiding from discomfort? The answers will be uncomfortable because the truth is rarely easy to face. But once you face the truth, you gain control. Once you stop making excuses, you open the door to action, discipline, and relentless pursuit of your potential. Excuses are a form of self-sabotage, And self-sabotage is the single greatest reason why potential goes unrealized. You can have talent, you can have opportunity, you can have dreams, but if excuses dominate your mind, you will never act with the intensity and urgency required to succeed. The cost of excuses is enormous: lost time, lost opportunities, lost respect for yourself, lost confidence, and ultimately a life that looks very different from the one you imagine. And the hardest part is no one else suffers from your excuses. Your excuses do not hurt the world. They only hurt you. Every time you choose an excuse over action, the person you could have been drifts further away. The difference between the person you are and the person you could be is how often you refuse to make excuses. Stop rationalizing failure. Stop blaming circumstances. Stop waiting for the right time, because the right time is now. Every moment is an opportunity. Every challenge is a lesson. Every setback is a setup for growth. If you refuse to make excuses, the strongest people, the most successful people, the ones who leave a legacy, understand this secret: excuses are optional. Success is not about avoiding obstacles. It is about refusing to allow excuses to control your response to them. Stop making excuses, and you stop giving your fear and doubt power over your life. Stop making excuses, and you take full responsibility for your destiny. Stop making excuses, and you unleash the potential that has been waiting inside of you all along. Excuses are a habit, and like any habit, they can be broken. It starts with awareness, it continues with choice, and it becomes permanent with action. You must train yourself to act, to move, to push, to create, even when excuses beg you to stay still. Every time you act despite excuses, you grow stronger. Every time you refuse to rationalize failure, you gain confidence. Every time you choose action over avoidance, you come closer to becoming the person you were born to be. Excuses will always be there. They are easy, they are comfortable, they are tempting, but the people who win, the people who dominate their lives, the people who realize their potential are the ones who refuse to give excuses any power. They act, they fight, they persist, and they thrive. Your potential is far too valuable to waste on excuses. The life you want, the dreams you dream, the impact you desire, all of it is waiting on the other side of accountability, action, and relentless refusal to justify inaction. Stop making excuses. Step up, take responsibility, act now. Every day you do, you grow closer to the greatness that has always been inside you. The choice is yours. Excuses or excellence, stagnation or success, comfort or conquest. Choose wisely, because your life depends on it. The people you spend the most time with shape the person you become. Your environment, the energy you absorb, the conversations you have, the standards of those around you. These are far more powerful than most people realize. If you surround yourself with comfort, with people who accept mediocrity, with those who avoid risk and settle for less, you will become a reflection of that. Comfort is contagious, and it lulls you into a false sense of security. It makes you believe that staying safe is the path to success, that avoiding challenge is smart, that keeping your head down will protect you. But here is the truth. Comfort is the silent assassin of potential. It masks stagnation as stability. It disguises fear as wisdom, and it convinces you to settle when you could be soaring. If you want to unlock your full potential, you must surround yourself with growth. Growth is not comfortable. Growth is challenging. Growth is relentless. Growth is embodied by people who demand more of themselves, who push boundaries, who refuse to accept good enough as the final answer. Growth is contagious, and it will elevate you, push you beyond limits you didn't even know you had, and expose the parts of yourself that are waiting to be developed. To thrive, you must choose your company carefully. The world is full of voices, full of opinions, full of people who will either lift you higher or drag you lower. Too often, we let convenience dictate our associations rather than vision. We cling to friendships, to networks, to environments that are familiar and comfortable, and we convince ourselves that loyalty to comfort is loyalty to ourselves. But loyalty to comfort is betrayal to potential. It is choosing ease over excellence, stagnation over progress, and safety over significance. Those who achieve greatness understand the principle of environment. They understand that talent alone is never enough. Intelligence alone is never enough. Drive alone is never enough. Your success is amplified or diminished by the people around you. You must be willing to distance yourself from those who do not elevate you, who do not challenge you, who do not inspire you to be better. Surround yourself with growth, and suddenly your perspective expands. You begin to see possibilities where before you saw walls. You begin to hear ideas that push you, that challenge you, that compel you to act. You begin to measure yourself not against comfort, but against excellence. Growth-minded people are not there to make you comfortable. They are there to make you better. They hold you accountable. They challenge your excuses. They question your decisions. They demand that you operate at a higher level. And this is precisely what you need to develop your potential. Growth is uncomfortable. It demands sacrifice. It forces you to fact truths about yourself that are difficult, that hurt, that disrupt your illusions. But the discomfort of growth is the price of progress. If you want to be exceptional, you must be willing to embrace this discomfort every day, because comfort will never take you to the heights you are capable of reaching. Surrounding yourself with growth also means embracing people who have what you want. Mindsets, habits, discipline, vision. You cannot reach a level of excellence by staying among those who are satisfied with less. You must seek mentors, peers, and communities that operate at a standard above your current reality, because you rise to the level of your environment. If you are surrounded by mediocrity, you will settle into mediocrity. If you are surrounded by excellence, you are forced to elevate. This is not a suggestion, it is a rule. Growth challenges your excuses. Growth pushes you out of your comfort zone. Growth demands results when desire alone would allow you to coast. And when you embrace growth, you begin to see the world differently. You begin to see opportunities where before you saw impossibilities. You begin to see challenges as invitations to rise instead of threats to retreat. You begin to understand that the people, places, and habits you surround yourself with are either fueling your rise or feeding your fall. Comfort will lull you into complacency, convincing you that being content is safe, that settling is acceptable, that dreaming is optional. Growth will what? Key you up. It will shake you. It will demand accountability, effort, and relentless action. You will be uncomfortable, yes, but you will also be alive, moving, expanding, and evolving. Your potential cannot flourish in comfort. It cannot be realized in silence, in passivity, in ease. Potential requires stimulation. It requires challenge. It requires a mirror that reflects not just who you are, but who you are capable of becoming. Surrounding yourself with growth gives you that mirror. Growth-minded people will call out your weaknesses, amplify your strengths, and push you past limits you never thought possible. They will make you confront your excuses, face your fears, and do what you've been unwilling to do. And here is the hard truth. This will not be easy. People who push you to grow will challenge your identity, disrupt your routines, and confront your complacency. They will make you uncomfortable. But that discomfort is exactly what you need. That discomfort is the catalyst for action, for transformation, for the unlocking of potential that comfort would have buried. Your future is determined by the energy you absorb daily, by the standards you accept, by the people you allow to influence your mindset. If you want to maximize your potential, you must be intentional about your associations. Seek people who push you. Seek communities that challenge you. Seek environments that demand excellence. Protect your mental space. Protect your time. Protect your focus. Growth will cost you comfort, but comfort will cost you your potential. The choice is yours, and it will determine the trajectory of your life. Surrounding yourself with growth is also a mindset. Even when you cannot change your environment completely, you can choose to absorb lessons, to embrace challenges, to elevate your standards internally. You can seek inspiration, mentorship, and accountability through books, content, experiences, and networks. Growth is everywhere if you are intentional. Comfort is everywhere if you are passive. The moment you choose growth, you are signaling to yourself and to the world that your potential matters more than your ease, that your future matters more than your present comfort, and that you are willing to do whatever it takes to become exceptional. Surround yourself with growth and you will rise. Surround yourself with comfort and you will remain stagnant. The people you allow into your life, the conversations you participate in, the habits you cultivate, and the environments you inhabit will either fuel your greatness or feed your mediocrity. Choose wisely, seek challenge, seek accountability, seek relentless energy that drives you beyond limits. Protect your focus and refuse to let comfort dictate your actions. Your potential is too valuable to waste on ease. Surround yourself with growth, not comfort, and watch your life transformed. Procrastination is the silent killer of potential. It hides behind good intentions, excuses, and promises to start tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes in the way you imagine. Every time you delay action, you are giving away precious moments of your life, moments that will never return. The truth is that potential is meaningless without action, and action cannot wait for perfect conditions, for motivation, or for the ideal circumstances. Waiting is the luxury of those who do not understand the value of time, who do not understand the urgency of their dreams, who do not understand that every second wasted is a second that will never be recovered. The people who achieve greatness, the people who leave legacies, the people who realize their potential, understand this deeply. There is no better moment than now. They do not wait for inspiration to strike. They do not wait for permission from others. They do not wait for the stars to align. They act, they move, they push forward relentlessly because they know that action is the engine that transforms dreams into reality. Acting today means embracing discomfort now instead of later. It means stepping into the unknown while your mind screams for safety. It means taking the first step even when the path ahead is unclear, because clarity is born from movement, not from hesitation. Every day you wait is a day your potential waits with you. Every day you put off hard work is a day your dreams grow more distant. Every time you convince yourself that tomorrow is a better time to start, you are lying to yourself, because tomorrow is just another verse, ion of today. And unless you act, nothing changes. The cost of inaction is enormous. It is measured in lost opportunities, lost growth, lost experiences, and lost momentum. The life you imagine is waiting on the other side of today's choices. And the longer you delay, the more difficult it becomes to close the gap between who you are and who you were meant to be. Acting today is not just about urgency. It is about respect for yourself, your potential, and your future. It is a declaration that you refuse to let time slip through your fingers, that you understand the fleeting nature of life, that you are willing to do what others are unwilling to do, to achieve what others only dream of. Action breeds confidence. Action breeds momentum. Action generates clarity. The longer you wait, the more fear grows. Fear thrives in hesitation, and it convinces you that waiting is safer than doing. But the opposite is true. Inaction is dangerous. Stagnation is lethal, and procrastination is the enemy of every goal, every dream, and every ambition. To act today means to embrace responsibility. It means to stop blaming circumstances. Stop waiting for permission. Stop negotiating with your excuses. It is a decision to take control of your life and to stop giving away your power to time, chance, or external validation. Potential is worthless without implementation, without execution, without doing. You may have talent, knowledge, and opportunity, but if you do not act now, they mean nothing. Every second you hesitate is an opportunity lost. And every moment of delay compounds over time, creating a life that is smaller, less fulfilling, and far from the greatness you are capable of achieving. Acting today is also about overcoming fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. All of these paralyze most people into waiting for a better moment. But the truth is that the only way to conquer fear is to act despite it. Action is courage in motion. Every step forward, no matter how small, weakens fear and strengthens belief. Every time you act, you teach yourself that you are capable, that you can overcome obstacles, that you can handle challenges, and that you do not need to wait for perfect conditions to move toward your goals. Action also builds momentum. The first step is always the hardest, but once you begin, movement becomes easier. Once you take control of your day, your week, your choices, momentum compounds, progress becomes inevitable when you refuse to wait. Those who achieve greatness understand this principle intuitively. The secret to success is not motivation, not inspiration, not luck. It is relentless, consistent action taken today without delay, without hesitation, without excuse. Acting today is also about honoring your potential, your talent, your abilities, your gifts were given to you for a reason. Every day that you delay, you disrespect the potential inside of you. You diminish your power. You allow your dreams to shrink under the weight of procrastination. Acting today is the antidote to regret. Regret is born from inaction, from waiting too long, from believing that there will always be another chance. But life does not guarantee another chance. Opportunities have deadlines. Time has limits. Your energy, health, and circumstances are not infinite. Acting today is about taking ownership of your life and refusing to defer your greatness to a later date that may never arrive. Acting today is also about focus. When you commit to immediate action, you prioritize what matters. You stop wasting energy on distractions, on indecision, on what ifs. You channel your effort into results, into tangible progress, into measurable growth. This is where transformation happens, when intention meets execution without delay. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve is almost always time. The dreamers wait, they hesitate, they plan endlessly, but act rarely. The achievers move today. They refuse to let perfect be the enemy of done. They understand that imperfect action today is far more valuable than flawless planning tomorrow. Action creates opportunity. Action generates feedback. Action teaches lessons. You will not learn by waiting. You will not grow by hesitating. You will not succeed by postponing. Every step you take today informs the next step, and the cumulative effect of consistent action is unstoppable. Acting today is about urgency. Life is short, time is relentless. Every sunrise is a reminder that the clock is ticking, that your potential is waiting, that your dreams are not going to achieve themselves. To wait is to waste. To delay is to diminish. To act is to honor your purpose, your talent, and the life you were meant to lead. Acting today is also about courage and accountability. It is saying to yourself, I am responsible for my results. I am responsible for my success. I refuse to blame tomorrow, circumstances, or anyone else for where I am today. This mindset transforms not only your productivity, but your character, your resilience, and your ability to face challenges head on. The person you will become is built in the moments you refuse to wait. The habits you cultivate are shaped by the decisions you make right now. The legacy you leave behind begins with what you do today, not what you hope to do tomorrow. Action compounds. Every choice, every effort, every step taken today multiplies into results that will define your life. Procrastination compounds too, but it compounds failure, regret, and lost potential. The difference is stark and the choice is clear. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to act today. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. Stop waiting for clarity. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission. The only time you truly have is now, and the only way to achieve your potential is to move in this moment. Act today, even imperfectly. Act today, even fearfully. Act today, even when it is uncomfortable. Because every day you delay, your potential waits, your dreams wait, and your future waits. And one day, if you do not act, your potential will no longer wait. Time will pass. Opportunities will vanish. Life will continue without regard for your hesitation. But if you act today, you begin a chain reaction that cannot be stopped. Momentum builds, confidence grows, skills develop, vision clarifies. The life you dream of becomes real because you refuse to defer it, because you refuse to wait, because you refuse to let tomorrow steal the greatness that belongs to you today. Act today, not tomorrow. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Do not settle. Move, push, step into your potential. Your future is created by what you do now, and the moment to start is this moment. Do not let procrastination rob you. Do not let fear delay you. Do not let comfort deceive you. Act today relentlessly, with urgency, with courage, and with the unwavering belief that your potential demands no less. Today is the day. Today is yours. Today is everything. Now, everything I've shared with you today is not theory. It is a call to action, a wake-up slap, a reality check. Your potential is not some abstract idea. It is a force inside of you, burning, waiting, screaming for release. And the truth is, every day you delay, every excuse you make, every moment you choose comfort over growth is a moment stolen from the life you were meant to live. You were not created to drift. You were not created to settle. You were not created to sit back and watch other people achieve while your dreams gather dust. You were created to rise, to push, to fight, to claim the greatness that is already inside of you. Every second counts. Every choice matters. Every action compounds. The people you admire, the legends you study, the ones who have achieved greatness, none of them got there by waiting for the right moment, by wishing, by hoping. They acted, they sacrificed, they faced fear, they crushed excuses, they embraced discipline when desire wanted them to quit. And that is exactly what you must do. Stop underestimating yourself. Stop believing the lies you've been telling yourself about your limits. Stop listening to the voices that say you're not enough. They are wrong. Your potential is bigger than every obstacle. It is stronger than every doubt. It is waiting on the other side of fear, hesitation, and comfort. But here is the deal. You have to act. You have to take responsibility. You have to move today, not tomorrow. Waiting is the enemy. Procrastination is the thief of destiny. Every moment you spend thinking about what you might do is a moment that will never return. The time to step up is now. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, environments that demand more from you, and habits that push you forward even when it's uncomfortable. Face fear head on. Do the work when nobody is watching. Refuse to make excuses. Chase growth relentlessly. Choose discipline over desire. These are not suggestions. They are the non-negotiable truths of achievement. And here is the most important truth of all. Your potential does not expire, but opportunity does. You have a choice. You can continue living a life smaller than what you were created for, or you can rise. You can act. You can claim it. You can stop watching others succeed and start creating your own victories. You can be the person you were meant to be, the person you've always dreamed of becoming, the person who refuses to settle for anything less than greatness. And it starts with a single step, taken today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when it feels right. Today, every action you take from this moment forward compounds. Every choice shapes the future. Every second wasted is gone forever, and every second used wisely brings you closer to your destiny. So I'm asking you, no, I'm challenging you. Stop wasting your potential. Stop waiting for circumstances to be perfect. Stop letting fear, comfort, and excuses dictate your life. Act now, push harder, rise taller, move faster. Your potential is screaming to be released, and the only thing standing in your way is you. Stop holding yourself back. Step into the fire. Step into action. Step into the greatness that is yours for the taking. This is your moment. This is your life. This is your time to stop wasting your potential and start living the life you were meant to live.